Hello everybody. New locomotive day. Well, to be fair, I've had it a week or two. I've been waiting for a new decoder to arrive because I run DCC. So this one needed an X18. I have a spare one in my box. So I've fitted this with the Dapol Imperium X18 decoder, which I've spent a little bit of time trying to configure and get working, which it does work. The Dapol Imperiums are not too bad from a decoder point of view, but what I found out and discovered is that they aren't brilliant with cordless motors. Despite changing lots of speed steps and trying the 28 speed step complex curves and altering CVs and you name it, you just can't get a good slow crawl from the Dapol Imperium on a cordless motor. At least not in my experience with this thing. If anybody's got any suggestions, I'm all ears. But I have tried the usual 3-step CV 5 and 6 modifications. I've tried complex curves using the 28 speed step. I think is it CV 67 to 94, whatever it is. And ultimately, with the cordless motor and the Dapol decoder, the start-off speed, you can't get it to crawl. In most speeds, it's actually perfectly fine. It's quite good. But the ability to take off at a slow crawl just isn't there. In analog, it is there. I've cross-checked this with my J72 Class E1, which is running a Zemo decoder. I did some swapping around. The Zemo can actually perform a brilliant crawl regardless, and unfortunately the Dapol can't. And the same goes for, I had a Lays decoder. I think Dapol Imperiums are just Lays rebranded because the CV listings are exactly the same. So I do struggle a bit with X18 decoders, because although you can get the Zemo X18, it's about double the price. So what do you do? It's a bit of a shame really, because the Zemo 8-pin works brilliantly, but it is similar price to the Dapol Lays X18. However, the Zemo X18 is considerably more expensive. Anyway, I digress. This is a beaut. The Dapol Class E, otherwise known as the LNER J71. Bachmann have very, very, very kindly produced it in its pre-grouping livery, which you see here. North Eastern Railway, TW Worsdale livery. This is obviously in North Eastern Railway green, but it has broad claret or Crimson Lake borders. They use both. To be fair, claret, Crimson Lake, they are a very sort of purpley dark shade of red. There isn't much between them. And the North Eastern Railway used both, from what I'm led to believe. Lining on the boiler, black, white, black. Lining on the border between the claret borders and the North Eastern Railway green is actually vermilion, black, white. Now, I don't know whether the vermilion will show up on this video. I'll try and do a close-up just so you can see it, because it is lined in that fashion and it looks fantastic. The underframe is, or under the ring board is, and the steps are in the claret or Crimson Lake, and again steps are lined as well. Sprung buffers, nice colour load, beautiful touches such as the red connecting rods. Nice bit of valve gear modelled under the boiler. Flush glazing, and as you can see as it goes round, I've stuck a driver in. But it is just a fantastic little model. Well done, Bachmann. Really pleased with it. And you'll see when it's running, it looks the part. It really does. Okay. Don't know if there's anything else I can say about it, really. Metal handrails. Separately fitted smoke box dart. Firebox flicker. You know, all the things you don't get with a Rapido these days. So, well done, Bachmann. Oh, and a metal die-cast running plate, so it gives it a bit of weight. Again, something you don't see with Rapido. Okay, let's just bring a couple more into the picture. Probably a biased point of view, but isn't that rather a lovely collection of North Eastern Railway tank engines? I could bring the Bachmann G5 or O class in here as well, but we'll just stick with these three for now. It's quite amazing to think that there's a range of North Eastern tank engines, shunting engines, and yet nobody ready to run has produced a North Eastern Railway express locomotive. You do wonder what the manufacturers are thinking of sometimes. Hey ho, it's not in my power to dictate what ready to run are going to produce next. But given the choice, I think we should have either a North Eastern Railway Atlantic or a North Eastern Railway 440, or even, dare I say it, the Class 901. Fletcher livery would be absolutely stunning. These three, to be fair to them though, are pretty good. The two Bachmanns, which obviously we've got the Class E in the middle, the new one. We've also the Class E1, which is closer to the camera as we speak now, in North Eastern Railway green. That's showing the Wilson Worsdale livery, which followed on from the TW Worsdale livery. Obviously these two guys were brothers. One followed the other in terms of chief mechanical engineers of the North Eastern Railway, but they did simplify the livery in Wilson Worsdale's day, and as you can see, it's lost the claret borders. The underframe is now black lined red, and the North Eastern Railway green has got a full suite of black white lining, as opposed to the variation in the older livery. The Class E1 was a follow-on from the Class E. Basically, the Class E1 had smaller wheels, one or two other odds and sods, slightly bigger coal bunker in this variation, but the smaller wheels meant it was more suited to shunting and pilot duties. Class E was actually designed as a shunter and small goods locomotive, and it would have done a variety of jobs. But the later E1 was probably more restricted down to the shunting duties. And then of course we have the Rapido 040 Class H. And I have to say that Rapido is the most disappointing. Cost-wise is really what we're driving at here, because the Rapido is a superb little runner. It doesn't have the same quality of finish as the Bachmann. I don't know whether it'll show up on the camera, because the camera kind of makes the colours look more poppy. But the Rapido's noticeably duller. The borders, which is supposed to be Crimson Lake or maroon, or claret I should say, are noticeably, well, reddy orange. Haven't ever seen a reference to that sort of colour being used before. So I feel like Rapido have got a bit of artistic license there. Or you could be ungrateful and call it wrong. However, it is a lovely runner. Give Rapido a bit of credit. But it's all plastic construction, including whistles and handrails, at a cost of 125 quid for an 040. Whew. Does make it a bit poor value for money. However, all three are still very much enjoyed, very good models, and I am really pleased that they have actually been made by the ready-to-run manufacturers, because they are just stunning. Okay, let's see the Class E run.